Tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic.
In the basis of our reality, the same algorithms that run Google, Facebook, and the rest of them are embedded in the reality. So it is a self-fulfilling technology. They've taken what is the mycelial network, which is the internet of the earth, mycelium, fungi, mushrooms. And that knowledge, because the mushroom mycelium is sentient, what we see as the mushroom is the reproductive portion of the mushroom, the stem and the cap. The cap being female and the stem being male. Them together makes little mushrooms.
I was told by my father, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? Oh. The only thing stopping us is ourselves. Take one step in the right direction, and you're halfway there to making the dreams come true.
I go to bed early, I get up early, I like to putter in the mornings. I like to read the newspaper, I like to have coffee, I like to have breakfast with my kids before they go to school. So I have my kind of puttering time is very important to me. And so that's why I set my first meeting for 10 o'clock. I like to do my high IQ meetings before lunch. Like anything that's going to be really mentally challenging, that's a 10 o'clock meeting. And because by 5 p.m., I'm like, I can't think about that today. Let's try this again tomorrow at 10 a.m. And for me, I need 8 hours of sleep. I think better, I have more energy, my mood is better, all these things. And think about it, as a senior executive, you get paid to make a small number of high quality decisions. Your job is not to make thousands of decisions every day. Is that really worth it if the quality of those decisions might be lower because you're tired or grouchy or any number of things?
Now this is no shade, no tea, but I have a question, okay? Because I know the rap kids, they do a lot of little trickery, clevery little lines, especially somebody like Kendrick. But I really am curious of what's so bad about being a 69 god. I guess what I'm saying is, far as I knew, 69 was something that just meant you're reciprocal, right? So if you were 69 god, what's so bad about that? I must be missing something. What's tea, boo?
You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic.
We back, man. We back for another episode, but quick disclaimer. Thumbs up if y'all can hear me okay. Thumbs up if y'all can hear me okay. I don't know what was funny about that, but anyways, we're here with another edition of the Daily Energy Reading. I'm your host, the Hood Mystic. I'm outside enjoying the bugs, live from Detroit, Michigan, man. We in the jungles. You know, they don't call me Hood Mystic for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But really quick to name my name, the Suburb Mystic, in a quick second. Like, I don't really care about this hood shit, just to be honest. But yes, I do care about this cosmic, cosmological truth that plays out every day of our lives. And I'm just here to go through the understandings and overstandings of the day. Today is Monday. So if you can bear witness to today being Monday, you can also bear witness to the astrology of the day. Monday is just taken from the word moon day, even down to the nitty gritty. When we say what month is it, month is actually taken from the word moon as well. So when people say, I don't really get into astrology is not real, and then say I have to go to work on Monday, well, then the joke's on then you, pal. You believe in astrology all the time, like every day is Tuesday. Why are you saying Tuesday? Tuesday is related to Mars. So if you can bear witness to the day, which the day is an astrological phenomenon, is when the sun goes through a cycle around the earth or the earth around the sun, who knows? But anyways, we wouldn't know the day from each day unless we were studying the astrological charts. The astrological correspondence that we're going to talk about is moon sextile sun, which also corresponds with these previous daily energy reading videos that I do. If you want to get caught up to everything that we're doing on the channel, please check out the previous videos with the daily energy reading thumbnail. But beyond all that, it's the first of the month. That time is colloquial, a representation of good energy for melanated people. Some people get their checks. Back in the days, we would get our food stamps. Hell, some of us are even getting our food stamps in real life today. So no shame, no shade. You got to eat. But ultimately, we're rejoicing and celebrating the first of the month. Where I come from, it's an old Negro spiritual, and it goes, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. But the reality of this conversation that I'm having with y'all is that I have a lot to talk about. So, all jokes aside, the best way to tune in and tap into my content is to either utilize the books that I got highlighted in the description or do your own due diligence, take notes while we do the video, look up the charts that I'm looking up at the same time, just to get an understanding of the energy, because it's going to go a whole different way for you. Just because if I reference the moon in Aries, Aries is going to be in a specific chart or house, or in a specific house in your chart. Therefore, the energy is going to correspond to you much differently. So, the only way to navigate these celestial streets is to do the work for your own self. I'm an advocate for doing the work for your own self because that's what got me to where I'm at. I don't really know too much about what guru you should tap into, what vacation tourist spiritual retreat you should waste your money on, because when you go there you only going to realize that they just scamming you, because if it's scammers in America, that means it's scammers in other countries. So it's only going to take you to experience it, to witness it. But ultimately, if you want a solution, the solution is spiritual development, which requires study, it requires prioritization, it also requires letting go a lot of the energies that you no longer need, which brings me into a waning moon that will be conjunct Mars. So the active energy with an Aries moon conjunct Mars waning is more simple into just fasting and releasing and purging. These are one of the most strongest modalities for human beings, bar none. It's not about what you are taking in, what you're receiving. It's about what you are releasing. The common term that you will hear with people is that I need more money, I need more things, I need more love, I need more this, I need more that, and you'll drive yourself crazy. And another part is that you're not in control of what you need. What you're actually control of is what you already have and what you need to release. So waning, purging, releasing, drinking more water during a waning moon is always going to be beneficial, and these are inclusive to the solutions that are encoded within the understanding of the astrology for today. It shouldn't be complicated, because every time people talk about complicated spiritualists, it's always the niggas that's going through the most craziest shit talking about, hey, did you tap into Ophidilius? He's talking about how the solar rays are reaching the fifth magnosphere. And it's be like, but don't you live with your mama? Yeah. Why is you worried about what Ophidilius is talking about when you don't even got your emotion in order? So I'm a proponent of simple understandings, overstandings, and understandings of the astrology. I'm okay with relating it all back to you. So when it comes to your whole entire being, it's extremely massive. If we can deduce that the astrological alignments is in relation, it's bugs everywhere. So if you see me knock things away, is because I'm outside with it, and it's I just seen a bug that had tattoos on it. This is the D, this is the D, so shit be crazy out here. But anyways, um, just having a level of understanding, overstanding, and understanding of who you are from a spiritual perspective is not always in relation to who you are as a human. So the conversation that I'm having with myself is it okay to do these videos every day? Would it become monotonous? So forth and so on. And what my spirit uh, talked to me back and said, well, you know how easy it is for a human being to release the spiritual understanding and overstanding and go straight into human consciousness. So, with that being said, if an hour a day, talking about this stuff, when you really think about it, it's not a lot of time, because when we're trying to understand our spiritual self, it requires a moment to 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 moment understanding. And just because I'm talking about it for an hour is not even salvation for a person. Meaning that if you're watching this video for an hour, you would still have to put in more time to your spiritual development than 1 hour, or even so far as to thinking that a video could assist you outside of actually doing the work. So, what would the work be in reference to the day, moon conjunct Mars and Aries, waning moon, releasing, purging? So watching this video is not you purging or releasing. That will require you to increase your water intake or take purging type herbs such as wormwood, mugwort, things of that nature to really papaya seeds, things of that nature to really get into the spirit or the action of purging and releasing as we approach a new moon, which would allow us to set intentions in reference to our mind and our love space. The reason that our love space and our relation space is such a heavy topic is because Venus is trying Saturn. When you talk about Venus trying Saturn, that is true love. That is the love that most people don't really deal with. Where it is usually the idealized version of love is Venus sextile Mars. I'll find the guy that is equal to me, that is attractive, that has a lot of money, that has a six pack, has a nice car. And although there's men like that, every woman is not going to get a guy like that. However, what you will also see is Venus trying Saturn, where Saturn is trying to teach, trying to lead, and trying to guide. So that will require more of a submissive nature into the relationship that most people, man nor women, are willing to take. But when you actually talk about relation, like the man is not willing to lead and the woman is not willing to follow guidership. So what you will have is a free for all for everybody that's dealing with Shango or dealing with Mars. And so Mars is having his pick of the litter, But at the same time, that is not meaning that people are happy. That don't mean that when it's time for the rent to be paid, you don't have no provider to help you with the rent, or nobody. And we can't say, well, this isn't 2019 or 2018 or 2015, 16, where you could say, hey, I can do this thing on my own. I have a good job. I have this, I have that. That's not the way that the matrix works in 2024. You would need to be under a program. You would need to be under a guidance ship. And so the alternative is you having feelings for somebody, liking somebody, and ultimately, inevitably, the relationship doesn't work because there is no structure. So you can look at it from both ways, masculine or feminine. Whether what role are you in your life, and this will be some things that will begin to open up to you. But in reference to where you're at and where you're going, you can tap into this energy which is centered in completion. When we look at the moon conjunct Mars, we're looking at the third deacon of Aries, and the card that rules that deacon is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is like a play on words, a play on concepts. The reason that we titled this video 69 Gods, because it is the mode of cunnilingus. It is the mode of fellatio. Now, at a certain point, this is kind of uh, gross or nasty or ultra sexual, but we got to ultimately look at it as spiritualists and scientists. There's a same mode. Well, I'll just say in tantric thought, there is called a yoni, and then there's called a maid yoni. And the maid yoni is simply the mouth, meaning that Hindu tantric people view the mouth as just as sexual as the yoni, meaning that if you could create a baby through the yoni, you could create a mind baby through the mouth. And so this is very intimate relationship goals that are actually magical processes. Whereas the same way as you would take the masculine and the feminine and create a baby, you can take the masculine and feminine and create an idea. So when we talk about the moon conjunct Mars, Mars ruling our sacral chakra, these are things that cannot be denied, and these are things that cannot be understood. When we see people do great things in life and we try to emulate those great things, what we may not understand is the work that it took for that person to achieve a great thing. Now, to scale it back, how does human beings create something from nothing? If you have nothing and you're looking to build and you're looking to manifest, well, the mode from the root, from Aries, is through sex magic, is through the sacral chakra, is through the yoni and the phallus, or the mouth and the yoni, or the mouth and the phallus. These are both interchangeable as modes and functions for sexual health. So, with all of this being said, when we look at the Four of Wands from the Thoth Tarot deck, you'll see that it is called completion. Well, it's hard to see, but the Four of Wands is called completion. And to understand and overstand the Four of Wands, you also can look at the card, and what you'll notice is that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spokes on the wheel, but it's the Four of Wands. So if it's the Four of Wands, why is it eight? Why is it 8 spokes? Well, 8 is just half of 4. So what the card is telling you is that in order to be complete, you need another 4, another set of 4 to be complete. And this energy is the orgasm. this energy is sex. Now, you could go into this energy very pure, or you can go into this energy very convoluted because you have previous sexual relationships and people have demonized sex to you your whole life. You don't feel comfortable in your sexual body. You may look at yourself and not feel sexually attractive and things of that nature, but it still doesn't remove the fact that it took two people, a male and a female, to create you. So when you think about how your life should move forward, and it's counterintuitive to the world that we live in, right? It's so counterintuitive because everybody is bi-curious and everybody is having sex with whoever they want to have sex with, and there's just no judgment. All I'm saying is that it just makes the conversation much harder to understand when sex has been devalued by the individual, when it is the thing that has created you. So why would you devalue the thing that has created you? So when we look at the Four of Wands and we're talking about completion, there is no other way for a human being to be complete. So in the top right corner, which will be the theme for this week, is going to be materialism. And materialism is a never ending cycle of wanting things, needing things. And the truth of my message is that everything that you have, you don't need anything because you already have what you need, rather. And then we get into different aspects of the energy, which break down into illusions. And what is the number one illusion? The number one illusion is emotion. Because to get into this energy, you have to break down to what you need. So in the conversation yesterday, we're talking about serotonin and fasting, meaning feeling good is related to you letting go of the processed food or just the food in general and having a system of fasting. But then the second part is the emotional component. Because what I'm looking at now is the hierarchy of needs. And when I look at the hierarchy of needs, physical needs, security needs, social needs, ego needs, self actualization needs, what I don't see is emotional needs. Because when you get into the nitty gritty of emotional needs, and sometimes people think that social or being in a relationship is emotional, when the fact of the matter is the average rent is $1,800. That means that the average home should have two adults living in it, going 50-50 on that. Nobody should have to pay $1,800 a month by themselves. You should bust it down the middle, 900. Now it is much more affordable. You split all the bills down the middle, and then you have an additional pot where you save for additional things that you want to do. So imagine you having a system with somebody that makes it to where that your life is easier and there's no emotion. Well, that's going to create love energy within itself. Then you having a person that doesn't care about your well-being, but tells you every day, baby, I love you. Baby, I love you so much. Baby, I love you. You know how it is growing up in the hood. Your mom say, I love you every day. Your mom say, I love you, but I love you is not actual love. Actual love is preparation, guidance, leadership, structure, making sure that you can be the best version of yourself. So, what I really want to talk about, the crux of everything that I want to talk about, will be centered in the illusion centered around emotions. This is where I want everybody to kind of key in and take notes where we get into the energy. But before I get there, I want to start and kind of like set the table. Because once again, people will say, you pressing the issue and I'm making things up. So that's why I like to like reference things that you could reference yourself, and then you could argue with the person who written it online and don't argue with me. So one of the initial concepts of God is found in this concept called Yab Yum. And this is not literal. I mean, this is not figurative. This is not an analogy. This is realistic reality. Yab Yum means father, mother, and it is a common symbol in Tibetan Buddhist art. It represents the primordial union of wisdom and compassion, depicted as a male deity in union with his female consort through similar ideas of interpenetration or coalescence. Using the concept of Indra's net to illustrate this. Now, you can read this yourself, but this is what I really want to talk about. The iconography of Yab Yum is generally understood to represent the primordial or mystical union of wisdom and compassion. In Buddhism, the masculine form is active, representing the compassion and skillful means that have to be developed in order to reach enlightenment. The feminine form is passive and represents wisdom, which is also necessary for enlightenment. United, the figure symbolized the union necessary to overcome the veils of Maya. So, when you have a good job, when you have a degree, but you as single as a dollar bill, you have not overcome the veils of Maya. When you did everything you were supposed to do, prioritize yourself, live in a nice house, have a nice car, living to and fro, you are more confused than a person who is homeless on the streets because the veils of Maya have got you. So, in order to look at the truth of life, it comes deeper into the understanding of psychedelics where you're able to read people's minds. I was around somebody, I got a chance to like spend a lot of time around somebody that I never even knew. And it was somebody that was close to somebody that I knew. And so I had a dream that I thought was unrelated. And I told the person that I knew about the dream, and they told me, oh, that was about the person that we were around. They're exactly like that. Me, I'm a psychonaut. Like, I'm very charged up and tuned in and tapped into the psychotropic network. I can understand and understand things about people just by being in their presence, being in their energy, because there are no mysteries about people. When we talk about spirituality, one of the things that people think is that, oh, you spiritual, so you nice. You spiritual, so you a good person. No, I'm spiritual because I see beyond the veils and I know you full of shit. So that's why certain people will be kind to me and nice to me because they know I see through their bullshit. That don't mean that I'm a nice and kind person. That don't mean that the spirituality make you a good person. When you have an awakening of self, you realize that it's a lot of bullshit going on. So I'm just bringing that to the table when we start talking about illusion and we're talking about connecting to another person. What is the purpose for? The purpose is so you're not deaf, dumb, and blind. The purpose is so you're not emotional. The purpose is that you can actually do some shadow work and start to overcome, because the false duality of me being a man and you being a woman is not real. This is why we need to come together. But the hard part, and so like if you see a person with a beautiful woman that's submissive and loves him for her, and you go on a dating site and you try to find that same girl or a girl like that, you'll never find it. The reality of a man being with a woman that's a part of his actual life and love is him being a spiritual person. Because God will give you the type of person that's going to assist you in overcoming the veils of Maya. This is the part that people don't understand. If you're in a situation with a person that looks a certain type of way and you have all of these preconceived notions about that person and they don't come true, Well, that was that person all along, but you have to take accountability and responsibility, because what was the purpose of you even being with them? 10 times out of 10, you are reliving a sexual deviancy, or uh you were imagining this person to be something that they were not. The purpose of relationships isn't to say, oh, you're so beautiful and you're so amazing. That's why it's always a person that does something that millions of people try to emulate, and that's the rub. That's the thing that's going to confuse people, because in the Bible, those dudes had plenty of husbands, plenty of wives, rather, right? It was usually a man with a whole bunch of wives, and nobody said nothing about it. In any religion, nobody actually talks about it. And the girls, you can be on the outside looking in like, I would never do that, but the girls seem to not care when they have sister wives. And a deeper aspect of the reality of this life is that women like the guy that other women like. And 10 times out of 10, depending on how much ego poisoning she's suffering under, she's going to have sex with the guy anyway. So that just creates a toxic or dark polygamous situation off the rip. So the normality of polygamy should be the first thing that's on the table, especially if you're in a space of saying, man, I like this guy. Just assume that eventually, one day, another woman is going to say the same thing. So let's get into more concepts before we deal with the bulk of this conversation. The meaning of Maya, the illusion of the world. One second. Here we go. The experience of illusion begins at the level of our daily lives. So every day that you wake up and you eat bacon and eggs, it's people that's grown ass human beings eating a pig's ass first thing in the morning. People you respect and say, this is good food. I love me some bacon and some eggs. You are eating aborted chicken feces and pig's ass as soon as you wake up. This experience of illusion begins at the level of our daily lives. So the rub is when you wake up and throughout the day, which the energy of the week is fasting, releasing until we come into a new moon. You got to start believing in the divine. So fasting could be a diet of natural foods, right? As opposed to cooked processed foods. But being connected to source, being connected to the divine is how you're going to start combating illusion. Because illusion, the first thought in your mind thinking it would be good if I go to McDonald's and get a McGriddle, that's a level of illusion at the level of your daily lives. If we go to the, listen, I didn't even read this, but here we go. If we go to the store to buy groceries, for example, we commonly note that the actual nutritional value of a food item is usually different than the appearance or even the size of the package. In our social interactions, for example, we often discover once we get to know, listen to this shit. We often discover once we get to know a person that we find them to be quite different than how they first appear. So when I was growing up, and this has only been exacerbated over time, people will date you based on how you look, as if that is the barometer for long-term relationships. The man that you remember the most, the man that you like the most, or the woman that you remember the most is the girl that looked good. Whole time they were a whole demon, and you can't differentiate that because The truth of who that person is on the inside. That's the truth of that person. Illusion is thinking, oh, they look so good, they don't have any problems. We frequently get such reality checks in life when we found out that things are not what we thought they were. And we were instead being misled by appearances, by our own expectations. All of this is Maya. So 10 times out of 10, people are going to come to a reading with 99% Maya. Even when I'm like, well, do you meditate? Oh, I meditate all the time. I meditate incessantly. I can't believe you asked me, did I meditate? I actually invented meditating when you really think about it and do your research. And it's like, oh, okay. So what do you need me for? Now, the book that we're about to reference, it's the first link in the description. If you know, you know this is my favorite book in the whole entire world. Like, y'all be like, every day you get on this damn app and you talking about this your favorite book in the whole entire world and we must have this book. And this one I'm not even playing. I didn't create this book. I got this book from Bobby Hemmett. Okay? This was on Bobby Hemmett's book list. And if you're trying to understand this soul work in relation to your chakras and all that, you got to get this book. This book just basically goes through Revelation and it points out how it is all related to the chakras in your soul. So, this is the book that we'll be referencing today. And one of the concepts that he puts forth in this book to say that if you are not tapped in to who you are at a soul level, you don't even know the difference between reality and illusion. And therefore, you're more prone to exist in a world of illusion more than any other world. So every emotion, feeling, concept, mental idea is nothing more than an illusion that you can't see the forest from the trees because you're willing to just accept life on life's terms. So the purpose of this actual conversation that I'm having with you in reference to the moon in the third decan of Aries conjunct Mars, a waning moon, is to release. And one of the things that I want everybody to begin to release is the release of illusion or Maya. So what we're going to reference is chapter 12. The book that I'm referencing, you could buy the book yourself. It's $22.95. Right? You can get a nice eighth of some good loud for $22.95. The difference is once you smoke that loud, it's gone. If you get this book for $22.95, you'll have it and you'll be able to actually tap in and tune into it to help you educate and elucidate who you are at a spiritual beginning. So I'm just going to go through the psychological interpretations, give a little quick commentary because it's 21 verses, so I'm not going to be super long on this, but I'm going to just double down and belabor the point of what illusion is, where illusion comes from, and how you could begin to redirect your vision towards the soul so you can know who you are and you'll be fine. Trust me, right? You'll be fine as long as you live in the truth of yourself. So let's get into it. Verse 1, at the beginning of the spiritual journey, the spirit's mind, your mind, is receptive to the divine. Because it is influenced by external teachers, it understands external teachings and aspires towards mental ideals and spiritual development. So this is where the guru, every spiritual content creator known to man, he is going to exist in this space. Me, if you like my content, I would be what you would consider graduate school. I'm teaching the people. I don't really care. I mean, I love it that you're a beginner, but I'm not speaking to beginners. Okay? It's so many people that's about to scam you and take you for a ride of your life that you don't need that from me. Okay? I want to give you the advanced teachings that will require you to rely on yourself. None of my content is so you can rely on an external teacher or external teachings. The mode for me is that you learn from yourself and begin to lead and be guided by the self, not by me, okay? Not by anyone else. Continuing. The aspirant's mind, your mind, my mind, receptive to the soul, calls for its guidance and it is distressed by seeing what it is revealed. When you have the awakening of the self, 10 times out of 10, you should realize all of the mistakes that you have been making because you've been living in an illusion. Continue on. The fact of illusion is still revealed. Illusion appears as a great adversary responsible for all conflicts. Illusion is responsible for all conflicts. So it's always the story of, you know, hood, my baby daddy ain't shit. He did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. If you're not doing spiritual work, you're going to be perfectly fine with saying what your baby mama did. When you do spiritual work, you start to say, oh, this is the part that I played in that. Because let's just think about it. Who just wakes up and just mad for no reason? If you think that a person is just so mad, then you're not able to see the part that you play in the situation. And this could be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because we come into the situation being 100% perfect and we're trying to figure out what did he do wrong or what did she do wrong. So the most important part of this particular energy is understanding that illusion is responsible for all conflicts. Illusion controls all seven chakras and all desires. So when we start talking about the chakras to the average person, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. One's in the chat, if you start talking about chakras with people and they start looking at you like you retarded. What chakras? I can't see them, I can't feel them, I can't touch them, so forth and so on. But at the same time, a person will be like, ain't you going to go on this cruise with us this summer? The whole family going. We just need 3,500 from everybody involved. You got your 3,500? We got a group chat. You a part of the group chat? No, I was talking about chakras. I don't know what chakras are, but I know we got a cruise coming up. Are you going to be taking part of it? So you'll be like, not wanting to be ostracized, kicked out the group. You'll be right on the cruise, catching COVID, like everybody else, like getting sick as hell, throwing up, getting seasickness, and you out of 3,500 just to be on a boat. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what happened the last time they put a whole bunch of black people on the boat. You got to stay woke out here, all right? Anyways, illusion gives paramount importance to the outer form. So the outer form, and when we choose in relationships or we choosing things about life, who we listening to, who we like, even the music that you like, you find yourself listening to people that you attracted to, i.e. Ice Spice. Like it's a way that people like Ice Spice, not because of her music, but because of how she looked, right? But that's another level of illusion because if you listen to the music, it's not like the best thing you ever heard. Let's just say that. But she got a lot of success that will relate to illusion or the outer form. Whenever people is caught up in the outer form, you as a conscious person need to know, oh, I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna let them go crazy over that chicken sandwich, but I ain't gonna wait in that line. I ain't even gonna touch Popeyes because they putting something in the chicken, right? If you do your knowledge, it's a long line in Chick-fil-A all the time, but they using 20, 40 chemicals in that chicken. Well, the outer appearance, it look just like a regular chicken patty and it tastes good, but at the same time, it's giving you type 2 diabetes and you losing your life because you just enjoy the chicken sandwich so much. So over time, and this is another level of entropy, When we're not doing spiritual things, you can get like you one's in the chat. You ever it's a girl in your timeline, a girl on Facebook. She's so happy when she get her boyfriend. But you know that shit ain't gonna last because this is her 10th boyfriend that you done seen. And you secretly watch her page and you like, here this hoe go again. She got another nigga. Right? It's a whole like she doing it again, yo. But you don't never tell nobody. You just keep it to yourself. You watch from the shadows. This is your time to just put ones in the chat because it's a judgment-free zone here. Right? We not judging you because we do the same thing, right? I do it. I'll be like, here she go. I wonder what happened with such and such. I was rooting for you and such. It's only fucked up when she be so happy in love and she got a baby. And first it was her and a nigga. Then it's like her by herself and she taking like baby pictures. Okay, I'm just the only person that be noticing that shit. Okay, I see how y'all gonna do me. All right, just don't expect me to open up no more. That's all. The chakras in the spinal column, which are controlled by illusion, have corrupted some of the mental ideas, turning them into false beliefs. So when we're under the realm of illusion, who we truly are then gets distorted, and then we have a false belief. One's in the chat if you got a beautiful cousin, a beautiful niece, a beautiful nephew, and they think bad about themselves. And you like, girl, boy, you is beautiful. They are adolescent and shit. They got muscles and shit, beautiful, but they just can't feel good about shit. One's in the chat if you know any adolescent child that's like, I just don't feel good about myself. And you try to pump them up and it just don't work. It's gonna be a lot of adolescents like that because we not teaching our adolescents about chakras. We not teaching our adolescents about chakras. Tell me why that's a shame. If you don't know why it's a shame, let me tell you why it's a shame. The chakras are related to your endocrine system. Your endocrine system are the hormones. Now, when a person is an adolescent, their hormones are in overdrive because they're transitioning from a child to an adult. At this point, you should introduce chakras to your teenager. Cause y'all like your chakras are fried. But it like let's keep it a buck. Your kids have a chance, but then when you like trying to talk to them, what they gonna give you? Emotional reactions, compulsions. Who watch porn more than a 17-year-old little boy, 15-year-old kid? Some of y'all be 9 or 10. Let's keep it a buck. Mommy, can I use your phone? I'm about to play a game. Yeah, here you go. Man, check your history. You'll be surprised what that 10-year-old is watching on your phone. Once in the chat if you done checked your history with your little kid. This is a safe space. Oh, okay, y'all don't want to talk about it. Fine. But how are you going to get on top of your chakras if when it comes to who you are sexually, it's a deviation and a compulsion that only gets satisfied by the little hot girls on the block or pornography? Then we want to talk about chakras. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell when all of these ideas, these spiritual ideas, is completely connected to your sexual energy, and your sexual energy is at its highest. Hormones are chemical messengers that trigger puberty and cause physical and emotional changes in the body. The endocrine system is important during puberty because hormones produced by the endocrine system cause many of the changes that occur during this time of major physical and emotional development. Some of y'all kids is going through hell. pure and utter hell because they moms and dads don't know shit about chakras. Cause chakras ain't real. And nigga be like, how many chakras we got? I heard that we had 365 chakras. Is that true? Man, I'm not talking about make believe shit and shit that you heard on the internet. I'm talking about real shit. Cause kids is going through hell because they hormones is going crazy and all they moms is doing is saying, hey, I hope you got good fucking grades. You better have straight A's or I'm gonna whoop your ass or you gonna be on punishment. You better stop talking to them boys, a bunch of different shit that's going on, and then you become a grown ass human being trying to relate to shit and you don't know what to relate to or what to because nobody told you about chakras. Nobody told you about sexual energy. Nobody told you about harnessing your energy and raising it up through your spine and educating yourself and being guided by the soul. 10 times out of 10, you took that energy, looked at a cute little boy and said, "Ooh, you going to be my boyfriend." Gave him that goody goody and then is working out or not working out. That's either your husband or you single as a dollar bill. But none of this is wisdom. Eventually, the mind brings forth the guidance of the soul, which combines the wisdom of maturity with a still small voice. So, there's another aspect I wanted to point out. This is how niggas. This is why this is PhD spirituality. Because most people are dealing with illusion, and what does illusion do? Illusion operating on the mental level is ready to fight against any guidance from the soul as soon as the mind receives it. What does that look like? Oh, I need to fast. Well, I'm hungry as hell. I got all this food in the refrigerator. I don't want this food to go to waste. Oh, I need to fast. Or I need to work out. I don't got no time to work out. Oh, I've been working out. I've been doing this little workout here and there. I see something on YouTube. I do a 10-minute home workout. Is it challenging you? No, it ain't challenging me. Well, do something that challenge you. Then you see how much out of shape your ass really is. It's always levels to this shit. So whenever we at a comfort zone in our workout, in our finances, you're not safe. It's not good. But whatever comfort you have, which is going to be related to your illusion, whenever somebody say, man, let's work out for 2 hours instead of an hour, man, I ain't got time to do that. Ready to fight against any guidance from the soul as soon as the mind receive it. So yeah, you should eat better, but illusion is going to be the thing that's ready to fight. Yeah, you should put out more content, but don't nobody know who I am. The last time I put out content, I ain't getting no views, and I ain't like the way that felt. I wanted to get 10,000 views. I only got 100. Well, keep post. If your ass would have kept posting, you would have been at 10K by now. But illusion says that you're supposed to go 10K off your first video, but you ain't did no networking, no promotion, no nothing. So continuing on. Now, if this continuously happens, eventually the mind brings forth the guidance of the soul, which combines wisdom and maturity with the small voice. See, the illusion or the ego is going to fight loudly. The soul is going to have a still small voice. And the powerful thing of this shit, y'all, is that you don't even have to work hard to establish the soul. The soul is already a part of you. You just have to stop thinking with the ego. You just have to slow down your mind, slow down your body, and what results is the still small voice that's going to say, okay, do this, okay, do that. And when you're in that zone, you're going to feel good, you're going to be at peace, you're going to just be hitting your goals, hitting your targets. That's how it works. The soul will rule all aspects of the personality by way of awakened kundalini in the spinal column. It acts as the intermediary for God and is aligned with the heart of God. This is all within you by doing the spiritual work. God is within you. You don't find God by looking beautiful. You don't find God by traveling. When you travel to places, you are going to run across scam artists that's going to scam you. And then if you can't recognize it, you'll come back trying to scam everybody around you. Because God is within you, it's not within your experiences and what you do. It is in the facts of you having awakened Kundalini. So don't tell me about your success story and how good you did in life. One, that's not going to help me. And two, what you did in life is not going to awaken your Kundalini. As we continue reading through the practice of meditation, the mind becomes detached from the external world and abides in the inner sanctuary, remaining there until inner peace comes. It never said you were supposed to go on a trip. It never said that you was now going on a trip is going on a trip. But if you're trying to awaken yourself, you awaken yourself through the practice of meditation. The mind becomes detached from the external world and abides in an inner sanctuary, remaining there until inner peace comes. That's the formula. That's the way that you awaken Kundalini. That work doesn't cost no money. That work doesn't require you to go anywhere. But in this materialist world, you're kind of trying to figure that part out. Where do I go? You go within. During meditation, a war takes place within the mind. Intuitions from the soul oppose the beliefs that illusion fosters. Illusion fights back through its judgments, doubts, and projections. Oh, I hate this person. I don't like this person because they doing this. That's a projection. Whatever they doing is bad. That's a judgment. I ain't ready to do it because I don't think it's going to work out. That's a doubt. All of the judgments, doubts, and projection represent illusion. Eventually, illusion is temporarily vanquished during a moment of illumination in which the mind dwells within. The innocence of the present is no longer identified with the past or the future. The rub in all spirituality is that you're not a man or a woman, you're black or white, you're not none of that. You're one half of a larger soul. When you think of the ancestors, when you think of the multiple dimensions, they all exist on top of each other in reality right now. If you want to actually see the multiple realities, take enough mushrooms. Take a lot. I ain't going to say how much you should take, but it's more than 7 grams, right? It's a lot of mushrooms, and you would be able to tap into the multiple dimensions. The problem is we don't take enough or we don't take none, and we could just talk about it all day. But if you want to see it, you actually want to see that there's no past and no future, and all realities are just playing themselves out in the constant, forever evolving timeline that represents the moment of now. Even though the great adversary illusion is cast out of the mind during a moment of illumination, it is still part of the emotional body. So it's never a point where I'm ever going to reach a status where I figured out every spiritual thing and solved every spiritual issue, because all illusion is still a part of the emotional body in the form of latent reactions. What that means is if somebody called me a fat stinking motherfucker, I'm gonna be triggered by that shit. I'm gonna start to think, do I stink? Am I fat? Right? Am I a motherfucker? Did I fuck his mom? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening. Right? If you trigger me, I'm gonna be triggered. And you never know when you're going to be triggered. Only an ignorant person will say, I'll never be triggered again. When you understand that illusion is a part of the ego, is a part of the emotional body, you put some respect on the name and you talk about it as a way to begin to understand and overstand yourself. Because how does this thing show up? Latent compulsions. For me, it's food. I'm gonna just keep it real. I got a latent compulsion. It might be 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm on DoorDash, like, what this thing hitting on? I'm hungry, right? That is tied into the emotional body, and that is tied into illusion. Now, what is the guru going to say? I can teach you and help you because I don't deal with no form of illusion. But that's not actually true. We all deal with illusion, even me. I can identify my illusion and I know where I need to work at, right? Where is the illusion at for you? The spirit comes to the following conclusions with this abstract thinking. A moment of illumination brings salvation from fear, inner peace, awareness of the divine whole, and power. The divine whole is crazy. And the power of the soul. Because illusion is cast out of the mind, along with its continual judgments that hide the presence of God. So, what does this mean? When you're not grateful for what you have, you'll also want things that you don't have. And when you say, man, I want a bigger house, or I want a house in general, I want a car, I want money, I want this, I want that, that is hiding the presence of God. So what you could do inverse to that is saying, I already got those things. And I have those things because God is in my life and I'm just wanting to be thankful. So I'm going to just be in the energy of gratitude. When you are in the energy of gratitude, you are in the presence of God, right? Yesterday, when you understand that God is in your life, you should be moved to tears. But if you're not willing to accept that, then you're going to be in a space where you thinking God is somewhere else and you can't find it. So that's going to keep a level of judgment in your heart. These spiritual factors overcome illusion through the spiritual love of the soul and related intuitions, which eliminate temporal goals that extinguish awareness of eternal life. Therefore, happiness comes through dwelling in a moment of illumination. So if I do an hour video and you like, man, I like this video, it felt like I was in my soul. That was just a moment. And if you relinquish that moment, it's gone. The spiritual journey is a moment to 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 moment revelation. You'll never accept the moment and you got to be in the energy of now. You can't be waiting on to get something in the future that may or may not come. You have to be grateful for what you have in the moment. If you're saying, well, I can't wait to get this degree, I can't wait to do this, I can't wait to do that, you're outside of the moment and therefore you're going to hide the presence of God that exists within you. Because another level of this is, how patient are you? If you say it, if you're patient, then you don't need to want it because it's going to come within time. But between such moments, suffering comes from identifying with the physical or emotional body, whereby latent compulsions and emotional reactions become active and can preserve themselves. So, therefore, the work is to be consistently constant into recognizing if this is a compulsion, which is going to be related to an emotional reaction, because emotional reactions are illusions. And when you are triggered and you respond to stuff, that can happen any and every time. And we just might feel good about it. But if it's a situation where, it's illegal, what I mean, like you commit a crime, then that emotional reaction will not be fully resolved until you get into the understanding that what is illusion? Illusion is when you're in the ego and you are basically ran by triggers that you don't even know you have, and they're going to have you responding in a way that you can't control. When illusion is active through wrong identification, it can torment the mind, even after it's brought forth the soul's guidance. And yet, at any moment, the mind can use the love and the intuition of the soul to become detached and dwell in its inner sanctuary until illusion is once again vanquished. So we've been talking about this in previous videos, sitting in darkness, just sitting in darkness until taking a large doses of mushroom, blindfolding yourself, and just escaping deep into yourself. That is the inner sanctuary, and that is where your soul resides. You will sit in that darkness until something opens up and you'll begin to see the light. This is the work that you must do, because I cannot see your soul for you. I cannot raise your chakras for you. You have to have the willpower and the strength to want to raise your chakras, and you're not even going to want to raise your chakras because of illusion, because illusion controls your chakras. That's a double entendre. Nevertheless, illusion can generate powerful emotional reactions that might cause the mind to forget the soul and inner sanctuary. Once again, that's powerful because sometimes people can get so caught up in whatever they're going through in life and deal with this powerful emotional reaction. And because you have this powerful emotional reaction, is real to you, and it's in relation to something that you can't overcome, something that you can't get over. And because you're going through so much negative stuff, all this means is that you forgot your soul and you forgot the inner sanctuary. And this is where most people is going to find themselves at along this spiritual journey, because they're looking for some great acclaim of some great success, when the reality is that you need to be consistent, disciplined, and realizing that it's a moment to moment to moment realization. You're not going to get away from it. You're not going to have any shortcuts. It's so easy to forget the soul that if you forget your own soul, you're going to suffer the own consequences for the illusion. So the physical body helps the mind cope with these emotional reactions fostered by illusion, because any emotional indulgence eventually has to be replaced by efforts to satisfy ordinary physical needs for sleep, food, drink, and shelter, which then brings us back to our hierarchical needs, which are the real shit that we need to do. What's so crazy about this? I've been in this shit for long enough to say that people will get so deep into this spiritual shit that they will not take care of their physical life. They will not take care of their security. They will have no friends. And they'll think that they're the bee's knees. They'll think they're the deepest nigga in the world, but they don't have nothing, right? Nothing. And the reality is that you cannot be so spiritual that you forget about your needs. So, what is the most spiritual thing that a person can do? The most spiritual thing that a person can do is doing, like, taking care of your life, like having a studio apartment or some shit like that, getting a bus pass. That's spiritual for spiritual niggas, because we'll be so spiritual and so in our ego. I can't take the bus. I like people, like spiritual people are really the worst type of people, because they feel like they don't actually have to do the work of life. They think that spirit is just going to take care of shit. But these Maslow's, like the hierarchy of needs, this is not something that is for some people, right? This is breakdown for everybody. And if you don't have these needs met, your spirituality is going to be skewed. You're going to be doing spiritual work for something, and you're not even going to want to learn on who you are, because what you need is so pervasive and is so much of the priority. So, and it's all illusion, because you don't need anything. You have everything that you need. You have the wisdom of the soul. You need to let go. You can read Chakra Nova and learn about the parasympathetic system, relaxing, getting into a space. I promise you, this happened this morning. I took like a little guided meditation. It was within the first minute. It was just more of like relaxing and realizing that the soul is active. Once I realized it, it was like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's get this day. You know, I took me a little microdose that like knocked me on my ass. But what I noticed that if I fight through my microdose, I ended up just having a wonderful, beautiful day. Got to the gym, you know, just like, you know, when the greens is green and the blues is blue, it's just a beautiful, wonderful summer day. And to me, it's like, what else more can I want? You know, everybody else got bullshit going on, but shit, I'm just enjoying the day. Like that didn't cost me nothing. I feel like anybody could do that, but it's so much illusion that keeps attacking the mind. Listen, the emotional reactions to life and circumstance that keeps attacking the mind, the true work is never done with niggas. The true work, and it's everybody to say, hey, I got a skin for you. 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 Like, damn, what's the newest skin? What's the newest scam? Illusion. And it tries to subvert these parts of the personality that follow the intuitions from the soul and the teachings of Jesus. So, with all that's being said, because this is actually revelation, and if you would be like, damn, what you mean the teachings of Jesus, it actually gets into the metaphysics of Jesus through the modality of revelation. But you got to get the book is in the descriptions. Make you tap into it, make sure you tap into it. I was just reading a chapter through it because I felt like this really tied into the energy of the day. And the reason, just giving y'all a quick little overview of what we talked about today, what was the more or less lessons of the day that I took from the energy, which is 69 gods, which is the energy of completion. 4 and 4 makes 8, but 1 and 1 makes 2. When we talk about 2 and 2, that makes 4. So you don't get to 4 without 2 and 2. You don't get to 2 without 1 and 1. In order for us to grow, we need to come together and we need to be complete. We can find joy through sexual modalities, but if sex is the thing that you kind of, you know, burnt out through the dating apps and things of that nature, that's more or less of the healing that you got to go through. If you're not like highly sexually active, which is going to be a rarity in this day and age, good for you. You can really take the sexual energy, raise it up your kundalini, and start inspiring yourself to actually see who the real God is. The real God is within you, and it requires your sexual energy. So the misdirection would be to love somebody or to hate somebody, but the true direction is to learn to love your soul. As you learn to love your soul in the same way you love a man, in the same way you love a woman, this begins to be the completion that you're seeking, the completion that you're searching for. You may find a man that's the perfect man, but I guarantee you he's going to do some fuck shit that's going to upset you. I'm telling you this because you're not the exception to the rule, and vice versa. The object is not to find the perfect girl that's going to love you, but to really learn how to love your soul, and your soul will be the magnet or the thing that repels people away from you, right? Kicks people out your life because you're true to the spiritual work. When you're true to the spiritual work, you're going to attract the lover that is going to complete you. And that within itself should be the motivation for you to want to meditate, for you to want to do kundalini work. Because who wants to be laid up with somebody that really don't like you and you're really not connected to them? Or who wants to be by themselves? And don't say, I do, I want to be by myself, because at one point you didn't. And the relationship didn't work out because you didn't know the inner mechanics of having a successful interdependent relationship. So take some time to learn, to grow, and to develop. One thing that I want to show before I get out of here. Well, I can keep that there. When we look at self-actualization, in the parentheses, it says the need for development and creativity. So if you're grown adult human being and you have no creative pursuits, you're out of alignment. If you're an adult human being and you have completely normalized, hey, I'm going to work this job, I'm going to make this money, I'm going to have this nice house and have this nice car. When was the last time you painted? When is the last time you wrote a song, created a song? When is the last time you shot a short film, brought your notes to life in a short story? As spiritual beings, you need to develop and you need to be creative. You can learn so much, you can pursue so much, right? And all of these things can come from just simply reflecting the talent that you already have at a soul level. So, with all that being said, this has been another edition of the Daily Energy Reading. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate you. I got to get out of here before these bugs eat me alive. I like doing the outdoor shows, but it's just entirely too many bugs out here. I'll continuously do them from time to time, but man, oh man, protect me from these bugs. But this is the Hood Mystic, man. I'm signing out. This has been another video. Before I sign out, be sure to check whiterabbitpsych.com, where we got 25% off. Yes, the sale is still active until 12 o'clock midnight tonight. So if you're interested in taking a large dosage, White Rabbit will be a place to be your supplier. You take that large dosage, put those blindfolds under your eyes, and go deep, deep into meditation. Go deep into the many wormholes within yourself. This is the time. This is the energy. You might do a little purging. Who knows? But after today, the sale will no longer be active and you will have to pay full price. Another cool thing that we got going with White Rabbit, if you spend $200 or you refer somebody and the combination between you and them, it equals to $200, you will get a $50 coupon sent to your email, and it'll be $50 off your next order. It keeps track of all your points, all the points that your referrals get. So if you just want to make a quick $50 real quick, join my rewards on White Rabbit Psychedelic, and make sure you check us out. Link is in the description. Also have the Hood Mystic book bundle on sale. Definitely going to raise the price at the end of this week. It's $44 this week only. That sale has actually been killing your boy because I'm not making $1 off of it. But, from time to time, I do put the book bundle on sale. But trust me when I say this is the last week. And finally, but definitely not least, we have the smudge kit at White Rabbit Psychedelic. All of these links are in the description. The Columbian Exchange, rather. Where I feel like this will be an essential kit for people who are new to doing sorcery, new to doing magic. All I can say is that nothing really happened in my spiritual life until I started burning herbs on a regular basis. When that happened, things started to happen. So if you are a magician, a witch, a warlock, and you're not smudging, not burning herbs consistently, you're probably wondering why your spiritual life ain't hitting like you wish it would. So with all that being said, this has been the show. I'm the Hood Mystic, signing out with another episode of the Daily Energy Reading.
You are now tapped in with the Hood.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. trap.